Welcome to the project for Module 8. You'll be building a game. It's going to be a choose your own adventure game. These appear in some books, particularly like teen and um, you know children's books. There's games where you get to choose your own adventure. Basically, the game is exactly what it sounds like. So if you've not played before, the way it works is that you're presented with some situation, some story where you have to make a decision. You're given options, usually at least two options, sometimes more than two. So you have some decision point, and you'll choose option one, option two, or option three. Whatever option you get, you'll get a new and different part of the story, and that'll lead to another decision, which will then have multiple options itself, and the story will just branch out from there. So here is a simple sort of decision tree diagram where there's two possible decisions. Each decision has three outcomes like this. And if we kept on expanding this, like if this option had three more decisions, each one of these had three, we'd end up with 27. There are 9 right now. So it can easily explode the number of decisions. And if each of those three have three, and then each of the next three have three, then you're very quickly looking at over 1,000 different paths. So it can get very unwieldy, this game. So what tends to happen is that there's not always 3 decisions. A lot of times there's just 2. And then a lot of these decisions will actually end the game. So here is, a situation where after decision 1, we have just ended the story over here. And the game continues if you chose option 1 or 2 like this. So for this choose your own adventure game, what I want you to do is a simple game where there's like 2 levels of decisions. So you'll just make 2 decisions. You just have at least 2 options per decision. That's what you're going to do. So this lays out all of the details for the game. It's pretty simple. There's just you're going to come up with a story. That leads to a decision. There'll be at least 2 options. The user will choose one of the options, and then each of those options will lead to another decision where there will be even more options to choose from. So just end the game after 2 levels of decisions. You can, if you want, you can go even further, but just make it at least 2 levels of decisions. So in order to do this, in order to implement this game, you're going to have to collect. Well, first of all, you're going to have to collect the input of the user using that input function that we talked about in this chapter. So, and the input you're going to ask for is either the numbers 1, 2, or 3. And then what you're going to do then is use these nested if-else statements. So you're going to say if the input is 1, then ask this question. And then you're going to nest an if or else statement. So there'll be an if-else statement within there. So each one of these decisions you can think of like as an if-else. So if option 1 is chosen, elif option 2 is chosen, elif option 3 is chosen, and so forth. And then within those code blocks, you'll have another elif statement. So I'm not going to spoil it for you by showing you the exact code, but that should give you enough to complete the game. And you don't have to have, you can end the story after the first decision if you want on some of these, or else you can go on and just end the story over here. Don't think too much about the story. We will play the game that I've created in a bit. So what you need to do in order to get started is just create a new file called adventure.py in Visual Studio Code. And then if you want to see a sample game, look at adventuresolution.py. So don't actually look at the code, play the game first. Only look at the code if you really need some help. And then in the upcoming videos, I will be programming this from scratch, so you'll see what I've done, and you can see the logic that I have implemented. All right, so that is the game and project for this for module number 8. It is a choose your own adventure game with at least 2 levels of decisions and at least 2 options per decision.